I was taking a leisurely stroll through the Acts of the Apostles, and I suppose you could read it as a quaint snapshot of life in the earliest Christian community, or you could read it as the measure of health in any community, including this one. Things will leap off the page if you read it that way. See how they love one another, that's a good measure. There's nobody needy in this community, that's an excellent metric. But my favorite one is this: and awe came upon everyone. That it would seem that the measure of our health as a community resides in our ability to stand in awe at what people have to carry, rather than in judgment. How do we bridge that distance that divides us? Some years ago, I went to give an in-service in Richmond, Virginia to 600 social workers. I brought 2 homies with me, and they got up and they told their story. And one guy was Jose in his late 20s, and he had been a homeless man for a while and a heroin addict and gang member, tattooed. And he got up to tell his story in kind of an offhanded way. He said, "I guess you could say my mom and me, we didn't get along so good. I think I was 6 when my mom looked at me and she said, 'Why don't you just kill yourself? You're such a burden to me.'" And the whole audience did what you just did. And then he said, "It sounds way worser in Spanish." Then he said, "I think I was 9 when my mom drove me to the deepest part of Baja California, and she walks me up to an orphanage, and she says, 'I found this kid.' And she left me there for 90 days until my grandmother could get out of her where she had dumped me, and my grandmother came and rescued me. My mom beat me every single day of my elementary school years with things you could imagine and a lot of things you couldn't. Every day, my back was bloodied and scarred. In fact, I had to wear 3 t-shirts to school every day. First t-shirt because the blood would seep through, and the second t-shirt because you could still see it. Finally, the third t-shirt, you couldn't see any blood. Kids at school, they'd make fun of me. "Hey, fool, it's 100 degrees. Why are you wearing 3 t-shirts?" And then he stopped speaking, so overwhelmed with emotion. And he seemed to be staring at a piece of his story only he could see. And when he could speak again, he said through his tears, "I wore 3 t-shirts well into my adult years because I was ashamed of my wounds. I didn't want anybody to see them. But now I welcome my wounds. I run my fingers over my scars. My wounds are my friends. After all, how can I help heal the wounded if I don't welcome my own wounds?" And awe came upon everyone.